Imagine this. On your wedding day, instead of a sweet kiss, you're splashed with hot animal blood right in front of your family. The priest dips a branch in the gore and flicks it over you and your new spouse like some twisted blessing. Sounds like a horror movie? Nope. This was real life for Vikings. These fierce warriors weren't just about raiding and fighting. They had wild, weird ways of falling in love, getting hitched, and even splitting up. Buckle up, because we're diving into the crazy world of Viking romance. It's full of grave robbing, bloody rituals, and rules that would make modern folks blush. Let's uncover the truth about how these tough folks handled hearts, homes, and heartbreak. When most people think of Vikings, they picture big, bearded guys with axes storming beaches, horned helmets, long ships, and piles of treasure. But that's only half the story. Vikings were family people too. They farmed more than they fought. They built homes, raised kids, and yes, fell in love. But their love lives? Way different from ours. No dating apps or rom-coms. Instead, deals between families, gods in the mix, and sometimes a sword from a dead guy's grave. Let's start from the beginning. How Vikings tied the knot. Marriages weren't just about two people saying, "I do." They were big deals between whole families. Think of it like a business merger, but with feelings thrown in. Families picked partners to make strong teams. Maybe to share land, stop fights, or get richer. Kids got married young, girls as young as 12, boys around 15. Sounds nuts today, but back then, life was short. People died young from battles, sickness, or harsh winters. So, starting families early made sense. To kick things off, families met to chat. They talked bride price. That's cash or stuff the groom's side paid the bride's family. Then dowry. Stuff the bride brought, like clothes, tools, or even land. They also sorted out help in wars, peacetimes, and who gets what when someone dies. These talks could drag on for months or even years. Vikings loved rules. For raiders, they sure had strict laws. Once the deal was set, it was time for prep. The groom had a wild job. Dig up a dead ancestor's grave and grab their sword. Yep, you read that right. He broke into a tomb, snatched the blade, and that marked him as a man ready for marriage. It was like saying goodbye to boyhood and hello to grown-up life. After that dirty deed, he headed to a bathhouse with other guys. They sweated in hot steam, then jumped into cold water to get clean. Baths were big in Viking world. They hated being dirty. The groom's look? Not fancy clothes, but nice hair with flowers or beads. He carried Thor's symbol, a hammer, for strength and luck. Thor was the god of thunder, but also marriage and babies. And don't forget that stolen sword, he brought it to the wedding too. Brides had their own rituals. She went to a bathhouse with married women from her family. Before splashing in, she took off her cranston, a fancy headband that showed she was a virgin. She packed it away in a box for her future daughter. Like the groom, her outfit wasn't the star, her hair was. She wore a family bridal crown, decked with flowers, crystals, or silver. It was an heirloom passed down moms to daughters. Weddings needed a priest called a Gothi. Getting one wasn't easy, they were busy guys. Before the vows, the Gothi did bloody stuff to please the gods. He'd kill an animal, a goat for Thor, a pig for Freya, goddess of love, or a horse for Freyr, god of good crops. The meat went to the feast later. The blood? He smeared it on a god statue, his own forehead, and then sprayed the couple. Talk about a red wedding. It was gross, but they thought it brought godly blessings for a happy life and kids. After the gore, it was like modern weddings, vows, promises, rings, but Vikings added swords. The groom gave his ancestor sword to the bride, for their future sons. She gave him a family sword back. It meant protection, swapping families. Rings went on the sword hilts sometimes. Family and friends watched as witnesses. No hiding, the whole crew knew it was real. The party after? Epic. Feasts with meat, bread, fruits, and tons of mead, honey booze. Mead was must-have. Couples drank from a special cup for unity. Guests toasted with horns, telling stories and singing. Feasts lasted days. Games too, like races where families ran to the hall. Losers served drinks all night. Fun way to bond new in-laws. But the weirdest part? After eating and drinking, witnesses followed the couple to bed. At least 6 people watched them get under covers. Why? To prove the marriage was real, no tricks later. Talk about no privacy. Vikings thought it stopped fights over if the wedding counted. Life after the wedding settled down. Vikings had a guy-ruled world, but women had more rights than most old-time ladies. Most were housewives, but some joined raids. Home life meant cooking, laundry, milking cows, goats, sheep. They spun yarn, 35 hours for one day's weaving. Made clothes too. Farms were busy spots. Kids came quick. No schools, so parents taught everything. Girls learned from moms, aunts, sewing, weaving, running a house. Boys from dads, uncles, farming, fighting. Both started young, good at it by 10. Vikings wanted strong kids fast. Divorce? Yep, women could ask for it like men. They got back dowry if it worked. Men could have mistresses, no big deal. Women, no cheating till divorce done. Christianity made rules tougher. Whippings or death for adultery. A guy could kill his wife and her lover if caught. But hitting wives? Bad. Society shamed abusers. 3 hits? Wife could leave. Vikings saw marriage as owning each other, equal in a way. If a hubby brought home a mistress, she obeyed the wife. Vikings worked dawn to dusk. Feeding families, guarding homes from thieves or storms, raising kids right. But they enjoyed marriages their way. Wild, right? Would you marry a Viking? Comment below. Subscribe for more ancient craziness.